Nowadays, it's difficult to express your opinion on things, and it's even harder to avoid disagreement. Actually, no, it's dangerous is the more accurate term. People actually consider it a miracle when we can agree on something. But I think we can all agree that 2020 has been just a series of nightmares, one after the other, and I would have preferred another 2019, to be honest. For the last couple of years, we've gone into every new year with so much hope that the next year is just going to be so much better than the last year, until reality just comes in from left field and punches you in the gut. This video is called My 2 Cents on 2020 because that's exactly how much each of our opinions is worth. 2 cents. The etymology of the phrase is as follows. It was a sarcastic response to unsolicited opinions back in 16th century England, which eventually evolved into I said a penny for your thoughts, but instead I got 2 pennies worth. My 2 cents is getting said today because I have the right to express my opinion as well as the right to express it freely. Before we get into this subject, let me ease your mind and say that this is going to be the only time that I'm getting into the political hot button topics, okay? That's just not what this channel is about, and it never will be about that. The next video, in fact, will be about autism, so please don't go anywhere. So it's no secret that we are living in a tumultuous time in our country. I've always avoided getting into the political stuff and the hot button subjects anyway because Awesometistic is not about advancing the platform of a political party or policy. It has always been about and always will be about advancing the platform of autism and enhancing people's understanding of it. So, your political allegiance is none of my business, just like my political allegiance is none of your business. Alright, so let's jump right in. With so many disagreeing with each other, the tension just grows with each passing day. Even if you preface everything that you say, which can be truly exhausting after a certain point, you're still going to end up upsetting somebody. The harsh reality is you can't make everyone happy. We're going to disagree. Nobody is the same, and if that were true, then this world would be a lot less interesting. Do I think there's anything wrong with disagreement? No, I just don't think that disagreeing is grounds for us to turn on one another, make enemies out of each other. Disagreement is what made this country great in the 1700s. Only difference is that those guys had one common goal and a call for a higher purpose. Independence from the British monarchy, and liberty and justice for all. If those guys responded to differing opinions the same way that we do now, we would have never gotten anywhere. Different opinions have never surprised me because I always knew that I was a unique individual and that I wasn't going to agree with everybody else, and I knew I was going to have different ideals and beliefs than most other people. And social media just makes it a lot easier for us to unfollow and unfriend people, and we don't make much effort anymore to try and understand one another. I'm in the middle of reading Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and that's actually one of his most emphatic points. Make an honest attempt to understand the other person's beliefs. Other than doing that, how do I respond to the chaos? There's a Polish proverb that I've been hanging on to lately, and it goes, Nie mój cyrk, nie moje małpy. Or as we Americans say, not my circus, not my monkeys. So method number 1, which may be a go-to method for some, is to ignore it. The less known, the better. Maybe you don't want to know the full extent of everything that's wrong. Maybe you don't want to know that another violent group has looted a small random store, or taxes are going to go up again. Really and truly, I don't want to know. It may not be the best method, but ignoring the issue is a method. For those of you who watch my videos a lot, this won't be anything new to you, but I deleted all of my personal social media accounts. And this is one of the reasons why I didn't like watching America deteriorate before my eyes. And this is the same reason I cut cable too. I couldn't turn on any single channel without being bombarded with bad news or reminders that our country is broken. By deleting social media, I got rid of the negative influence, my mood improved, and I don't worry so much. By cutting cable, I'm not bombarded with bad news, and I'm not so concerned what the floating heads think. Method number 2. Try to learn something from the disagreement. I'll often ask myself, do I really have all the facts, or why do I disagree with that? If you don't have all the facts, then you don't have a bedrock understanding of what's being argued about. I'll often tell people I'm not educated enough on that to talk about it intelligibly. And it's just been my experience that when I play that card, people tend to back off. I've been a firm believer in the idea that ignorance is bliss, but ignorance does carry a more negative connotation these days, doesn't it? Maybe the less we know about the world, the better. Adam and Eve found this truth out the hard way when they ate from the forbidden tree in the garden. Once they obtained the knowledge of good and evil, they were banished from the Garden of Eden and their innocence was stripped from them. So is my plan to remain clueless for the rest of my life? Of course not. I would just prefer to be a part of the solution than a part of the problem. Philippians 2:3-4 tells us to not do anything out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but to be humble and value others over ourselves. I also understand that while I do get a say in who our next commander-in-chief is, I also know that I have a very limited control over what actually happens. My voice is still 1 in 100 million, at least. Whatever happens is going to happen, and I don't have to worry about it because I also know that despite things not going my way, or even if they do go my way, God is still in control. And spoiler alert, God wins. Method number 3. Get into a community with people who share your ideals and beliefs, and get close with them. This is not to negate the rule of learning from other people, but it never hurts to stick with people who share your opinions. Unless you're just trying to stir something up and get into an argument, then your chances of getting into an argument with these people is almost non-existent. I'm very grateful to have been blessed with a group of friends who do share the same opinions as me, but 9 times out of 10, we don't get into the hot button topics that everyone loves to talk about these days. There's literally millions of other things that we can talk about that don't involve politics. And so we just don't talk about it. So finding your clique is important, but it's also important that you keep an open mind as well as an open heart. So think of it like this. You've got $1 in your hand. And the reason I'm using money right now is because it's the best visual analogy I could come up with. Now you can clench your fist and you can keep that dollar safe and sound in your fist. It's not going to go anywhere. But, oh looky here. I got $2 extra. And obviously I want the $2 extra because I'm in college and I'm broke. But, well, what do you know? I can't get it in there. I can't get it because I've got this death grip on that $1. This $1 won't go anywhere. But at the same time, it's trapped. It can't go anywhere else. There's no room for anything else. The moral of the story here is that you can keep what you've got if you keep the vice grip on it. But you're also giving up an opportunity to let something else come in. I'm not in any way trying to insinuate that it might be time for us to change our positions on a few things, although I don't think a few choice areas wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. All I'm saying is that we all need to do the unpleasant act and swallow our pride. And I'm talking to everybody on here. By that, I mean maybe the elephant and the donkey just aren't what we need right now. Maybe what we need is the lion and the lamb. You're so worried about the State of the Union. I get it. I am too. This country was founded on a belief and reliance in God. But most of America seem to kind of forget that and turn away from that because we think that we've gotten too big for God. We've all heard the expression, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Which brings me to method number 4. If we humble ourselves, submit to God, repent from our wicked ways, and apologize for making him feel unwelcome in this country, then he will hear from heaven and heal our land. Read 2 Chronicles 7:14 to get the full story. Just like any good father is not above letting his children fall flat on their face just to learn the lesson, our Heavenly Father is also not above letting us fall flat on our face just so we can learn the lesson. Honestly, haven't we fallen enough? So if someone disagrees with your opinion, remember Jesus' lesson in Matthew 5:9. If you know it, say it with me. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. If someone starts talking about it or brings up a hot button topic, change the subject. Like I said, there's millions of other things that we can talk about that don't involve politics. We literally don't have to talk about it every minute of every day. It's just creating more division than it is creating unity. Actually, here's an idea. Why don't we leave the political talk to the politicians? Let them scream and yell at each other, whereas we, the citizens that they lead, just agree to disagree. And at least try to build the bridges that we've burned over the past couple of years. So, that is going to wrap up today. Be sure to subscribe, and you'll be able to hear more from me. If you do, hit the bell notification beside the subscribe button. You'll get every notification when I post a new video or anything, and I promise I'll leave the politics alone next time, I promise. Also, make sure to like this video, hit the thumbs up button down below right there. In fact, in the spirit of this video, comment your thoughts down below about 2020. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Remember that when you're commenting. Thank you again for watching. God bless you all. God bless America. Have a blessed day.